do you like the title today? Or are you trying to get these people to like the title? I'll tell you where it came from. It was Greg Hamlin. Remember, he was here in April. He came to entertain us. And he's the one we give credit to for that statement. You come to Unity to have your answers questioned. You see, I said we gather a lot of answers over the years. Things that people have given to us, we accept them. Of course we do. We were good little children. We accepted all these things that people gave us. But then he said that these answers have a shelf life. They have an expiration date. Maybe we better find out what that is. Because some of our answers, you know what happens to answers? They turn into beliefs. Mm-hmm. And some of those beliefs maybe need to be thrown out. They've expired. And so we need to replace them with new ones. It was a few years ago, and I was in a workshop with other people, and we were doing role-playing for the story of Adam and Eve. Now this was really fun, because we each got to play the role of God, of the serpent, of Adam, and of Eve. And the only rules were that we had to be open and use our imaginations. Just let it roll. Okay, so yes, we were having fun. Now it was my turn to be Eve. And I'm sitting across from a man who is Adam. And he says to me as Eve, well, this is a fine mess you've got us into. So what do you propose we do about this, Missy? I'm like, what? So I, as Eve, respond to him, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. Just drop the name, first of all. And then let me tell you that I was only expressing what God had put into me. I was expressing my curiosity. And I would say that you must have had some of that curiosity too, because when I gave you the fruit, you ate it. Now either you have curiosity like me, or you are a spineless milquetoast. And with that, of course, we all burst into laughter, and it was really good. But you know what that tells me is that we have always been curious. We have always wanted to question. Now, when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to question. That doesn't mean I didn't want to. I did want to. And I think that is instilled within us, that curiosity. So now here in Unity, we encourage questions. This is the time. This is summer. We ask questions. So here's my first one that was given to me. You ready? What is truth? How would you define truth? Now, this person is not concerned with truth with the little t, but concerned with truth with the capital T. Now, truth with a little t, we know all about that. I mean, it's in this world, it changes constantly, and what was yesterday is no longer today. Things are in a state of constant flux. If our grandparents could step back into this world, they would not be able to take it all in. Things have changed so rapidly since their time. But that isn't what we're concerned about. We're concerned about the capital T, truth. What is that? Well, I began to ponder, and I was going around and around in circles and getting nowhere. And I thought to myself, why did I get a question like this? Especially for the first one. This is so difficult. And I began to think of other questions that I've had over the years, and one 3 years ago that really made me laugh. What do you and Dell talk about? Now that's the kind of question I like. That was easy, that was fun to answer. Okay, so what was I going to do with this question then? I thought I'd ask my friends. I asked one of my friends and he said, oh, truth is whatever we believe in. I didn't argue, but inside of myself I said, no, that can't be it. It just can't be, because the answers, the beliefs that I have accepted, once I began to question them, it changes. They may no longer be my beliefs. So no, truth can't be that. And what do I really know about truth? It's absolute. It is, it has been, and it always will be. It's changeless. It is the divine principle of life, we could call it, divine essence of life. But that still doesn't say what is it. What is it? But that's what I know. That's what I know. So I asked another friend, and she said, you're asking too difficult a question. There's no answer to that. But she said, I think we all have a version of the truth, and my church's version would probably not suit you, and your version would probably not suit me. But she said, you know, there are people in this world who claim to have the truth and the whole truth. And then that makes all the rest of us wrong. And these people, she said, it seems as if they have a need to keep telling us how wrong we are and how right they are. Well, something happened this last week that came to my attention. That a woman came into a store, and she had these little pamphlets. And unbeknownst to everyone in that store, she was putting them all over. And then on her way out, at the checkout, she handed one to the person who was helping her. Now this person, the cashier, we could call her, was the person that talked to me about this. And she said, I read the Daily Word every day. I love it. I go out of my house with these good, positive words. And now I'm looking at this little booklet that this woman handed me, and it makes me feel awful. It is bringing me down. It's a booklet of fear. It starts out by saying, oh, you think you're good? You're not good. You're horrible. You're sinful. You're bad. You're everything awful. And you are going to be punished. That's what God is doing. He's going to punish you for your evil ways. She said, what do I do about that? Run? What do I do about it? That's a good question, isn't it? Because we do get confronted with these things. What do I do about that? We can't stop the woman. Well, we can stop her from putting these little booklets of fear out everywhere. The store could have her not arrested, but the store could stop her from doing that. But we can't change the woman's mind. But we can change ours. That's the only one we can change. So take the advice of Jesus, who said, shake the dust from your feet and move on. You go on and live a good life. Never mind what the woman is doing or passing out. It doesn't matter. You go on and live a good life of love. Love or fear? Only two ways we have to live. Well, let's choose love. So truth. We haven't gotten anywhere with it yet. What is truth? So I thought about what my friend had said then, that we all have a version of the truth. Well, is that it? Are we going to let it go with that? Something kept nagging at me. And what do you do when something nags at you? Don't you go with him. Don't you sit yourself down, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just be. And the answer comes. It might not come at the moment, but it'll come when you need it. But something came to me almost right away. And something said to me, we can know truth. It's not that elusive. We have access to truth. After all, we live in two realities at the same time. We live in this physical world that's so apparent, but we also live in the realm of spirit, the world of the formless. And we have access to that. So no, this truth is knowable. And I think that we are provided little windows in which we can see past the humanness and into the world of the formless. Now I find that in nature is where we get these little windows most clearly. So Friday, there were 4 young men who appeared at our home to trim our trees. Now our trees are huge. And I was so fascinated with them that I put aside all my ponderings of truth and I just watched them. And especially the one who could climb up the tree, climbed up the inside of the tree almost to the top, and he fastened his safety belt around the biggest branch he could find, and then with his chainsaw he began to cut away all the branches that were not necessary, all the ones that were blocking the light from the grass, from the tree itself, and from the people below. Our trees were so unsightly and so overgrown. It's just a revelation to have all that gone and to see the light. It's beautiful. Oh, there's metaphysical there too, isn't there? Okay. So what I was noticing then, so fascinated with this young man, well, he's young. He's young. And he could climb that tree as if it was no effort at all. That alone is fascinating. Well, so as I'm looking at this and noticing how large these trees really are and how magnificent they are, my perception shifted. And suddenly I saw this tree as a symbol of something so magnificent that I thought, how do I get my mind around this? But it became that window through which I could see through that into the world of the formless. That this magnificent tree, this living thing, came from this little tiny seed. And here it is standing in front of me, declaring to me the essence of life. The divine essence of life. And now if that tree has that, then so do you, and so do I. And so do I. Yesterday morning, Del and I were eating breakfast, and suddenly out of the clear blue, the blue, where's that? Well, to me, those are the divine ideas that pour into our mind all the time. That's the blue. And suddenly it came to me, and I said it out loud. Oh, truth is within ourselves. It takes no rise from outward things. Robert Browning. Truth is within ourselves. It takes no rise from outward things, whatever you may believe. There is an inmost center of truth within us all, where truth abides in all its fullness. And around it, wall upon wall, the gross flesh hems it in. This clear, perfect perception, which is truth. Where is truth? It's in here. And the poet goes on to say that this flesh does hem it in. We're confused by all this and all the worldly things. However, he talks about the imprisoned splendor that is within, that we are here in this life to release that. What he's saying is that life is lived from the inside to the outside. And mostly in this life, we did it the other way around. Oh, yes. Well, let's look and see what the day is, and let's turn on the news, and let's see how this all plays out in the world, and then I'll tell you how I'm going to feel. Backward. The imprisoned splendor, it's my job, it's your job, to learn how to let that out into the world. Truth is knowable. I began to think also of the parables of Jesus when he talked about the kingdom of heaven. Well, he told us the kingdom of heaven was within us. So then I come across, I just opened a parable of the kingdom. Okay, how about the merchant who is looking for fine pearls? Pearls of value. Well, we put ourselves into that story, and we are the merchant that is looking for all the fine pearls in this life, things of value. But then he finds the one pearl of great price, the priceless one. He finds it, and everything else pales in comparison. He's ready to let go of everything else so that he can have that one. And I began to think, maybe I haven't put myself in this story enough. You are the pearl of great price. You are the truth. And once you realize that you are the jewel in this life, everything else pales in comparison. This is nothing of the ego. This is of the spiritual realm. That is what you are. The truth. It's a lot to take in. So let's go on. Okay. We do live in two realms at the same time. We have an inner life and an outer life. And each has a purpose. Now, this inner life, the idea of that is that this is your beingness. And your beingness is about the truth of who you are. Your beingness. That's primary. Now, before I tell you about the outer purpose of your life, there's something you need to know about the universe. That we are one with the evolutionary impulse of this universe. Yes, truth is changeless. But this evolutionary impulse wants to put truth out there, wants to get it out from this body of flesh and get it out there. This impulse. And sometimes I think of it like the universe. One verse, one song. The universe is singing its song every day. It's singing it to you. And hopefully you're singing with it. You're singing with it. We have a song to sing every day of our lives. And we have the choice as to what kind of song it's going to be. Okay, now we come to the purpose of our outer life. And that purpose is our doingness. You see, we are human beings and we are human doings. And all this doingness, well, it can be wonderful. We have dreams and goals. We have desires. What did the Daily Word today say about desire? It is God knocking on the door of your heart, wanting you to be successful, wanting you to be out in the world doing good things. So it is. This purpose of our outer life is to do good things for others, to spread love. And we call it secondary. Why? Because all these good things that you do are the channels through which your beingness, your holiness, your sacredness is put out into this world. Now, how beautiful is that? What song are we singing? When you think of your own life and the song that you sing every day, is it one of love? Even if you don't receive love, your responsibility is to put it out anyway. Every thought, every word, every action, that determines your life. This is so important. So now I'm going to close with what else this person wanted to know. Do you think we have a handle on truth? First of all, do you think we do? The truth is within. The truth is really what is in here. The truth is changeless. It is absolute. It is the divine essence of life. I want to just say, too, here's a window, a flower. Ever really looked at a flower? And to see that it is one of the most beautiful handiworks of our Creator, it's a little window through which you can see into the world that goes beyond that human form. No, it's not a human form, it's a plant form, but it goes beyond that. So now let me close with what else this person wanted to know. Statement of Jesus, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Well, just take that first phrase. You shall know the truth. You can know it. You shall know it. Because we do live in these two realms at the same time, we are already in the realm of spirit. When you let go of this physical body, you are already there. There's no place to go. You're in it now. And so you have access to it now. It's maybe hard for us to grasp this, but I'm going to invite you to try, because it is so valuable. But you see, there is something that you and I need to do, and that is to raise our thinking. In a song, one of the songs, it says, I will lift my eyes onto the hills from whence cometh my help. That's raising our thinking. It's our inner eyes. We have to raise them to the realm of spirit. And when we do that, we're open. We're open to all the divine ideas that flow into our minds. It was Albert Einstein who said, I want to know the mind of God. I want to know it, and all the rest is details. Didn't he also say you cannot solve the problem on the level of the problem? You have to raise your thinking. And once you do and you are open, you have been set on the road to freedom. Isn't that why we say here, I see you? I see beyond your appearance. As wonderful and beautiful as it might be, I see you. I truly see you. I see the truth of you. I see you as